All right, so you can see that I have my JPEG here saved. This is a picture file. It doesn't have as much information as a TFF file, but it is completely editable. And so let's see if we can enhance this rose just a little bit. It comes in as one layer. Yours may come in as a background layer, and if that's the case, we can just make a copy of that layer. Down here we have a number of different commands, and there are creating new layers. We can create a new group. We can come over here and create a new fill or adjustment layer. Lots of things we can do. I'm going to just take this rose and see if I can bring out the colors a little bit. Hopefully you remember a little bit of your tutorial section. What I have here are the adjustments open. There are libraries, which I have nothing in my libraries yet. There's Learn, where you came over for your tutorials. And over here we have adjustments. And under adjustments, there are a lot of ways you can enhance this photo. I'm just going to show you a couple right here. I've got one that says levels, and I can take these levels, and once I click on levels, you'll notice at the bottom a new layer has overridden the picture. So this is my layers, and it's linked to my image. So anything we do up in our layers will link back down to our rows. What we have in front of us is a RGB, that's red, green, and blue. Those are the only colors that Photoshop uses to make all the colors that are in Photoshop. And right here we have a shadows, our darkest parts. We have midtones, which are right now pulled to the top of the information chart, and then highlights are out here, which we don't seem to have any of because this picture is so flat. You can mess with these settings right here, the shadow, midtone, and highlights. If I drag my shadows up just a little bit, we can't see it very well, but you can start to see that this starts to make some changes already. We're starting to get some shadowing in here, and it gets darker and darker. You can make that image darken. Typically what you want to do is just drag up until you get a little bit of the shadows. We're just going to get a little bit of shadow in here. And from there, I'm going to drag down my midtones. I'm going to get my midtone into a midtone range here, and suddenly the picture is suddenly washed. So I'm just early on in playing with this. And then finally, I'm going to drag my highlights down toward the shadows a little bit. So now we get a very white looking rose. And to me, this rose is a little pinker than that. So what I'll do is drag my midtones up just a skosh. And it's okay. It's not great. I'm not really happy with it. I can certainly drag the highlights out a little bit, but each screen in this lab will be a little different. So I want you to use your own eyes as see what you want to do. And you can see as I move those highlights down, it moves the midtones down as well. So you can really start to get something in here. I'm going to just leave my highlights at the very end of this, and then maybe drag my shadows. If I get rid of the shadows, not so good. Give a little bit of shadow in here, and then I can mess with these midtones a little bit. That's looking okay. Now, if you want something else, you can certainly try something else here as well. There are lots and lots of ways we can go about doing these things. There are some custom presets in here. You can increase the contrast. You can lighten the shadows. You can make your midtones brighter. You can do anything you want here. And let's say I go down to didn't know what it means. I'm just going to make my midtones brighter. So I'm going to look at my image, make my midtones brighter. Did not like that effect at all. So you can either come back here to your default, and we don't like that either. So we can come down, increase our contrast, and you'll notice that all my red, greens, and blues have gone back. I'm sorry, my shadows, midtones, and highlights have all gone back. So because of that, I've got to drag everything kind of back to where it was before I start filtering things out here. And I have to go to all this work again to make that happen. kind of where I was before. There are other things we can do here. We can use different gradients, patterns. You can come in here and you notice that when I click another adjustment layer, suddenly I have my curves, which is a whole nother way to go about things. I kind of like the way it is now, though. I can come down here and get rid of that by just simply hitting delete. And once I click on the curves, get rid of that. I can bring in brightness and contrast. I can do all sorts of neat things here with enhancement of my photo. Oh, I don't know if I like that too much. It's still a little dark for me, but my eyes, once again, are different than your eyes. So let your eyes be the judge of where you think that photo belongs. That's just a couple of the many ways you can mess around with adjustments all you want. Once your photo is adjusted, then you are good to go with the next step. So I'm going to stop this video right here, and we will pick up with the next step in the greeting card process in the next video.